Well, we are now nearing the end of July, and last night down here at sea level it rained, and up here in these mountains behind me, which are about 1,000 meters tall, it snowed a little bit. So that's interesting. We've been told that here and even down in the northern side of Norway it can snow just about any time throughout the year. It's probably not going to stick around long, and it's just a nice little light frosting of snow. But yeah, it snowed last night up there, which is kind of nuts. And today it's about 5 degrees Celsius down here, which is pretty cold. We've got a pretty strong weather front coming in from the north, and where we're anchored right now is a really good spot to ride it out. We've got protection almost 360 degrees. Offshore it says it's going to be gusting into the 40s, which means here in the fjords it could be 10 knots because we're surrounded by mountains, or it could be funneling down even stronger than 40 knots. So we're definitely just going to sit here and wait that out for the next 2 days, and hopefully it's in the lighter side and we're just going to hang out and do some work, editing. We've got the wood stove running. I've got a couple of little boat projects I want to take care of before we move on to the next anchorage, but could also be pretty spicy in here. I guess we'll find out in a couple hours. So thick. So it's really calm right now, and before whatever this potential front that's coming tonight blows in, we're gonna try to move into this little anchorage a little bit further so we're better protected. And one of the things that we like to do when we are anchoring in a poorly charted anchorage is connect a chart plotter to the iPad, and it's running Navionics, and then you can get live sonar data and you can sort of zigzag back and forth. You can sort of map out your own contours of an anchorage. So as long as we go slowly and we don't bump into anything, we can kind of snake our way in and get like a really good idea about what this anchorage looks like. We've also been told this is a really good anchorage because the bottom is really thick clay. A lot of people have a hard time getting their anchor out here. And as we found out bringing the anchor up, it's really thick clay. It reminds me of the hurricane hole that I weathered Hurricane Matthew on in Haiti. So right now I'm just gonna motor straight in towards land until we are in, 1 meter of water maybe, and then turn around and come back out and just sort of zigzag our way in very slowly. Hopefully we don't bump. We are at low tide, so if we do bump and get stuck, we'll wait an hour and we'll get off. There's about 1 meter of tide here. And then next time we have internet, these sonar logs will get updated and uploaded to Navionics, and this anchorage will then be better charted than it was before. We actually do this quite a bit when we're exploring places that aren't well charted. We're at 2 meters now, and that's under the keel. All right, we're at 1 meter, so let me turn.
What the
It's draining water out of it.
That is the weirdest sound.
It's a weird sound. Well, as it turns out, there is not enough swing room inside of this little cove for us to safely anchor in there. There probably technically is, but it means we'd be swinging into like half a meter of water, and that's a little shallow for us, especially not exactly knowing what the tide is doing up here. So we did our little zigzags in and mapped out the first third of it or so, and then decided to come back out and sort of put our anchor where we were swinging, because the wind has been coming out of the south for a couple of days while we've been anchored here. And so we kind of just picked up our anchor from the south and moved it to the north, so when the wind comes in from the north, we won't be swinging further out into the unprotected water. We'll still have a little bit of this peninsula and the island behind it protecting us, if the wind even picks up at all. We're definitely over preparing, but I guess there's probably no such thing as over preparing when you're this far into the remote reaches of the ocean. Yeah, in a couple hours the wind's supposed to fill in a bit more, and we'll see just how strong it's going to get. But it's a good practice. We now know where the shallows are on either side of us, so we're very confident where we're anchored, knowing that if we do end up swinging, we're not going to swing into anything. And yeah, we're hunkered down and be pretty good to go. Someday, hopefully in the near future, we're going to get one of those little fish finder chart plottery things that we can run off of our outboard, because our outboard has 12 volt DC out. So theoretically we'll be able to put a little Pelican case together, plug it into our outboard so it has power, bring a phone or an iPad, and be able to just use the dinghy to zigzag back and forth and map out a whole anchorage rather than using the sailboat, and that would be awesome. But we don't quite have the kit we're in need to do that just yet, but it's going to be an upgrade that we are excited for in the future, so that we can go in and out of more uncharted places, sort of make our own charts, rather than a wrench on a string like we used to do.
It's so brown.
It's so brown. It is a milk hot chocolatey, cold chocolatey. It is a chocolatey anchorage. It's funny because like in here it's all brown, around here it's all brown because of all the mud coming down from all the, like the glacier runoff, and then just out there it's back to being like blue ocean water again. But it is definitely chocolatey in here.
It's been blowing about 20 knots for the past 12 hours, which honestly in this anchorage we barely felt because it's so comfortable and it's such a protected anchorage. But tomorrow the wind is forecasted to die down, and so we're going to use the last bit of this wind to sail to the next little fjord, because it's going to be a downwind
Head sail kind of day.
Yeah, it's gonna be a downwind head sail kind of day. This place is so brown. It's kind of crazy. I feel like, you know, when your eyes are accustomed to the darkness for a long period of time and then suddenly you introduce it to light and then you get blinded? That's kind of how I feel we're going to be as soon as we make it to a place where there's actually color, because our eyes right now are so accustomed to the chocolatey, brown and gray monotone colors of Svalbard that by the time we make it to whatever country we're gonna go next to, it's going to be an explosion of color. Goodness! And it's frosty today. What's the temperature? 8 degrees? It feels colder, I think because of the wind.
What's your laptop doing?
My laptop is or was transferring footage onto my phone, but I'm pretty sure it stopped because my phone looks like it went to sleep.
Do you want to work on that while I get the anchor up? Or
yeah.
when I like start, snub her off and hose that? I mean, it's going to take me 10 minutes just to get there.
Alright. I can see you.
Can you tell it's me?
Yeah, you can tell it's something. There's something there.
It's gonna be me. Oh boy.
Alright, well, we just made it out into the main fjord and the water is considerably less brown. Yeah, now that we're in clearer water, we're going to turn the water maker on, fill up the tanks, and then hopefully by the time we make it to our next anchorage, our tanks will be filled. What do you think?
Yep. Word.
He's covered.
Super puff. Do you want your super puff? It's 4 degrees Celsius right now.
It's 4 degrees and the wind is coming from the stern, which means it feels even colder. It's 20 knots of wind coming from the stern, so it's...
So wind chill to -20.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yep. Listen, wind chill is how I feel. I feel like it's -20. Look, I can see my breath. No, I can't.
I can't see your breath, so...
Nope.
But it's definitely a bit more swelly out here because we're not protected by the mountains as much.
Short, choppy fjord waves.
What?
Short, choppy fjord waves.
Short, choppy fjord waves.
Short, choppy fjord waves. I sang a whole song about it earlier.
Dudes. You can see iceberg. Yeah,
Really?
totally. There's like floating ice everywhere.
We do have to be
there.
careful because those 2 glaciers are going to push ice out towards us.
Yeah, they're big.
Uh-huh. Let's not hit them, yeah?
Yeah, I don't see any of them in front of
Yeah,
us.
when we were sailing up this fjord,
They're mainly like out by the
when we were
coast.
sailing up this fjord, the wind was pushing all the ice into the glaciers, so we didn't get any ice sailing in, but now that the wind's out of the north, it's pushing all the ice out of these glaciers, and we definitely are going to have to keep a close eye out because we're sailing past 3 glaciers right now. Should we drive?
We'll have to, we'll have to.
Oh, I
If we
looked at
want
the
to
sun.
keep our sail, our point of sail, we'll have to jive.
Let's drive. You got it?
Me?
Yeah. You're still wearing all your
I'll jive. I'm still wearing all my Sure. Water, we're literally on the edge of the brown water.
That's what we should call this video. On the edge of the brown water.
Well, we are getting closer to the glacier, and there is an increasing amount of glacier ice. Island, 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 but all of those are chunks of ice. So I'm gonna roll up some of the head sail so we can see underneath it, and we're gonna slowly keep sailing in. Luckily, all the bigger ones we can see on radar, and the smaller ones, less so. We're sailing right towards them, actually. Let me roll this up. Never thought I'd like sail past an iceberg. Yeah, it's just floating.
It's creepy how little it moves. There's a sound to them. It's crazy. We are just going to be slowly crawling our way a bit
upwind. There's not much wind anymore. A bit upwind, and then around all these little icy bits. Try not to hit any of them. There's a lot of them out here. 2 is 11. That sounds about right.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. We always knew that our radar theoretically could pick up small things like icebergs, but we've never had the chance to test that theory because this is the first time that we're sailing close enough to ice to see what's happening. And yeah, our radar definitely picks up chunks of ice, which is pretty cool. I mean, the big pieces, but they are the pieces that are they're the most damaging to the boat. Yeah, there are just a few ones that flow close to the beach, but for the majority of the ice, it flows that way, which is good. It means that we can anchor up here. The game plan is we're going to anchor upwind of all the flow of the ice and chill, eat dinner, and stay on ice watch for tonight. And then tomorrow morning, bright and early, we'll go and play around the ice, the glacier.
You nervous? Excited?
A little bit. We're
cold?
doing something I've never done before. I think everything we do since a long time, every day that we do something, is something that I've never done before. So I am a little bit nervous. I don't know what it would be like if ice hit our boat.
It would go
Sink.
bump like a log.
At this speed, maybe.
It would go bump like a log. We're doing 2 knots.
I think we should collect some ice for our whiskey.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Whiskey on glacier ice. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be
Arctic whiskey on glacier ice.
Arctic
Yes.
whiskey on glacier.
Do you want to go get a chunk off of him?
No, this
I could
one's
back
gonna
up
flip.
to it.
This one's gonna flip, and then we're gonna flip with it. It's just gonna take our boat. Whoa.
All right, I'm gonna go back to helming.
Yes, please
Okay.
do that. We're anchoring in front of a glacier.
Like, for us, uncomfortably close in front of a glacier. In reality, it's a mile away.
It's a mile away, and it looks huge.
It looks massive.
Woo.
There's this nice little spot off to the side. We're gonna tuck in, not really tuck in, off to the side, kind of upwind from where all the ice is.
Yeah.
We're gonna anchor for a little while and like get the dinghy in the water and fly the drone and like do some other good stuff. And hopefully not get any ice drifting down on us tonight, so that at least one of us will get some sleep tonight. Probably
We'll take turns.
We'll sleep in watches, A for polar bears and B for ice drifts.
True.
And yeah, run the wood stove and.
Oh man, this place keeps mesmerizing me.
All right, this is 10
I don't know if
meters
that's
here.
the.
Mesmerizing, I don't even think even starts to bring
just
it
keeps-
justice.
I don't
Like,
know. Just
Overwhelmingly beautiful and amazing me.
yeah.
That's what it
I
does.
think that's a good word. We're like. Oh god.
It sounds like a piece of dynamite going off. It's like, and we can't see any of it. It's just like
It's inside of itself.
the glacier moves this much. Problem with all these glaciers is that all the land in front of them is very poorly charted. So we just kind of zigzag our way in and hope we don't hit anything along the way. Well, 8 meters of water is quite a bit of water.
We just had the tiniest, the cutest, and the most curious little baby seal coming to say hi to us today. Just came around the boat to swim a little bit. I mean, he saw me and he still came closer and he tried to get on our ladder, on our swim ladder. I think the GoPro spooked him a little bit, and so he swam away. I hope he comes back because he's really ridiculously cute.
I hope he comes back with all of his friends so he can get visited by a Svalbardian SEAL team. That's Sealy.
That is
very, very Sealy.
silly.
But then,
Can you grab the camera?
you all right? What happened?
I don't know what
Did your
happened.
wrist just freeze?
No, I
Snap
tore
it off?
like a nerve or something.
Uh-oh.
I was trying to hold the camera and it just went.
I'll stop telling such terrible jokes if they cause you so much pain. Should we put a cardboard box in the water so that he could seal it?
It is 10 o'clock at night, but we just got here. We're in front of a glacier. I never imagined that we would ever be this close to a giant piece of ice.
I've been closer to a giant
Piece of.
We're gonna tell the people that
Seal.
we're gonna see them tomorrow.
What should we call him? Here's my seal joke. Let's seal it with a kiss. But the seals, you know what how the seals kiss?
Kiss the camera. How do seals kiss?
Do you want to listen to Seal?
That's the sound they make.
Oh my god, you're weird.